Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Joy Journey podcast. I've got the giggles already. Okay, this month we're actually talking about grief. And I really wanted to kick off the month by just being super honest about the fact that the holidays can actually be hard. And so today we're going to talk about holiday grief. And I just don't think that this is something we talk about enough. December hits and it's like a friggin' glitter blast everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's good for me to bring the perspective, especially as a joy wizard and a joy educator, of what it gets to look like to just be where you're at, to bring, exactly how you are along with you on this journey called holidays and the holiday season, and really just give ourselves the room to be. And what does that look like? So I wonder how you handle grief. And if you're moving through grief or loss or whatever this looks like for you, how do we do this? How do we handle it through a season that's really kind of loud and full on? And, this year for me, in our family, we lost more loved ones. And every December since I lost my dad and then my grandparents, who were like parents to me, Christmas has just been different. It's just been different. And I learned something really powerful as I moved through that loss during the season was that joy doesn't need to replace grief. It actually gets to sit beside it. And gratitude is actually the bridge through all of it. And what I noticed, especially the first few Christmases after dad left, well, the truth was I was drinking heavily at that time. So that's how I coped with it. But when I got sober and I would allow myself to actually feel the sadness, it was making room for all of it and allowing for grief to bubble up, noticing it, feeling the feelings whenever I needed to, but also inviting in a next level amount of gratitude. And what I found was that it made it really actually quite magical, because if you've experienced loss and deep loss and loss of those really close to you, you may have had the experience of the veil thinning, meaning life is just different, and in some cases it's harder, but in others it's also more connected. And when I do joy sessions and I'm speaking in rooms, I'll often talk about how joy is not always that bright, shiny feeling. And often when you are walking through loss or grief, you can experience joy and grief at the same time. And I'll notice in the room, certain people will understand exactly what I'm saying. And it's like you actually experience the joy because of the experience that you had with your loved one. And the grief is like a testament to how much you love them. A good friend of mine once said, grief is love that has nowhere to go. I really, really resonate with that. And that's why also I think when we're moving through grief, it's so nice to be able to reminisce with people who knew our loved ones, or also just have the space to reminisce and share stories of our loved ones. I always find that it allows me to feel that deep soul joy when I am sharing stories, because it allows you to be in the memory. It allows you to be in the love of the person, and it allows you to kind of, yeah, keep that love alive. So I don't know if that resonates for you, but that's what's coming through to share. We're diving in already, my friends. I think the last thing I want to say before we dive into this season's episode or this month's episode, which is a season, it's the friggin' holiday season, is to invite your grief along with you this season. And instead of pushing it away or tucking it away or pretending everything's okay if it's not actually okay, it's what does it look like to bring it all along with you? And then what does it look like to invite in even more gratitude for the blessings that are currently here? That is what literally saved my ass when I was moving through extreme grief. And that's exactly why we created a fun little challenge this month in the Joy Nest. We're going to do the Capture Joy Holiday Magic Challenge. And this is where we share one photo of something that is sparking joy or feeling beautiful or powerful or magical for us, and really use our focus to notice the beauty around us, especially through the harder times. And experiencing how that can actually uplift us. So if you're wanting a gentle and intentional joy led December, I invite you to the Joy Nest. We actually have a 50% off holiday special right now. So you get 50% off for the year. This will never, I guarantee, never happen again. And you also get a free copy of the Daily Joy Journal because joy. So I'm just inviting you in if you want a soft place to land December and beyond. It's actually a yearly experience. I feel like we've made that really possible with, I call it delightful pricing. So check it out. And just know if you're moving through a season of loss right now, your grief doesn't have to go anywhere, but I would invite in joy as well. I hope you enjoy this episode. From my heart to yours. Hey there, it's Jillian, your guide to all things joy, and this is the Joy Journey Podcast. Oh my God. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Joy Journey Podcast. I'm your host, Jillian Shecker, and today we're diving into holiday grief, which doesn't sound so joyful. I always invite in the lightness, always inviting in the lightness. So today we're talking about something real. We're going to dive into how to handle grief through the holiday season. And I don't know about you, but I feel like December shows up so freaking loud and sparkly and busy and woo, there's a lot going on. And for a lot of us, this is actually quite a tender time. I shared earlier that we lost more family members, more loved ones. So instead of forcing joy through the season or pretending to be something I'm not or putting on a brave face or whatever it is, I actually let joy come along for the ride through gratitude during this season, which is a time when you can't help but think of the people that you're missing. And it's just a tender time. It's just a tender time. So my invitation for us all this month is to give ourselves room to experience what we're experiencing, but also pave a new pathway of alignment and peace and love and magic this season. What does it look like to actually co-create a holiday season that feels as good as it can possibly feel? I know some of us dread this season. It's just like, oh God, here we go. And I've really, I think, kind of alchemized healing during the holidays because I gave myself so much room to be where I was at when I was moving through grief and continue to move through grief. So I'm going to teach us all and kind of reintroduce the joy method and walk through what this gets to look like through the holidays, because I think it's such a practical way to actually just feel better no matter what, whether you're in grief or joy or you're stuck in traffic. Okay. You see the joy method this season. It's so interesting that during one of the darkest months, literally of the year, especially where we live, I think it's light out for 4 hours. I don't know when it's morning or night at this point. And it's kind of fun. And it's this beautiful also solstice energy. I friggin' love solstice and bringing in the light. And it also feels like perhaps a season of obligation and shoulds and expectations. And so my invitation for you this season is if you're swept up in that energy and you're dreading December already, could we create a new possibility this month together? Could we invite in more magic, more lightness, more ease, more joy, more realness, more authenticity, more boundaries? Ooh, I said the B word, so that you can actually feel good throughout. And as always, it's going to be human. So we're going to go up and down. We're going to go up and down that vibrational scale. But I just wonder, what would it look like if we take full accountability for being the deliberate designers of our lives and pave the way forward for an amazing month ahead, regardless, and really give ourselves room to be and just be. So let's talk about the joy method. Let's talk about the antidote to the holiday shit show with the joy method, a practical way to feel better through the holidays. Okay. I'm going to walk you through. So the whole thing, the whole method starts with the radical act of letting yourself feel how you actually feel. Because what happens is we get into a lot of trouble by resisting the feelings and the discomfort or grabbing onto those feelings and literally just taking it down to the bottom of the barrel where you're maybe calling everyone you know to talk about the drama. Did you know what Cindy did? And guess what she said to me, or like whatever it is. And instead, just actually feeling the feelings, just feeling that discomfort. There was a study done by a neuroscientist who had a stroke and studied her own recovery, and she found that a feeling only lasts 90 seconds. If You just feel it. So, what does it look like if, in the midst of discomfort or stress or strain this holiday season, you just give yourself a good old fashioned timeout? 90 seconds, feel the feeling, get to the other side. Our emotions are meant to flow. It's resisting them that makes them persist. What we resist persists. Okay. I don't know why I needed a country accent, but here we are. So it's being able to feel the feelings to move to the other side. And this is what joy requires. What happens is, as humans, we're like, discomfort, ooh, gross, don't want that. And we'll tend to stay away from that. Joy requires us to move through the discomfort. So this is what we're going to do this holiday season. We're going to meet the discomfort and we're going to move through it. We're going to feel the feelings. We're going to get to the other side over and over and over again because we are badass joy warriors, my friends. The next step is noticing the thoughts. So the ability to notice the thoughts is so powerful. It's the becoming the witness, essentially, is what's happening. And from this perspective, what we get to do is actually shift the thoughts toward what we want instead. And that is where the magic lies because our focus has power. Our focus expands whatever we're focusing on. Everything is energy. Our thoughts have energy. We're expanding what we focus on. So instead of focusing on what we don't want or what's going wrong or the drama or whatever the heck's creating a spiral, we're going to shift toward what we want instead. What do you want to experience this holiday season? What do you want to experience today? What do you want to experience in this moment? Okay. We're shifting them toward kinder, softer, more helpful thoughts. And then we're going to set an intention. What do you want to experience? What would you love to experience this December? One intention, one thing, not 20, not 12. What is one thing that you would most like to experience this month and through the holiday season? What would you love for this month to feel like? Maybe it's you want it to feel cozy or quiet or peaceful or connected, or maybe you want a friggin' wild party. Choose your own adventure. But then what we want to do is take one small inspired action toward that experience. One small inspired action that creates momentum for us, okay? So whatever it is that you're craving this month, no need for huge, massive action. Maybe it's just small baby steps toward what you want to experience through the holidays. And I just want to share that gratitude is the way that we get to raise the vibration. So it's focusing on what is going well. It's focusing on the blessings. I know for me through the holidays, if I would focus on the loss and the people who'd passed, that was just so depressing. And I'm not saying we don't go there, but at some point, what I noticed was when I focus what is still here, what is still here, everything is impermanent. And the people in our lives and the blessings in our lives are meant to be appreciated and in the now. So it's, am I going to focus on what's missing or am I going to focus on what's here? Invitation is to focus on what's here with gratitude. Focus on the blessings. Okay. Inviting gratitude is your best pal this month and see what happens for you. See what shows up for you. Again, we're doing this in the Joy Nest together. Invitation is there. I'll link it in the show notes for you to come in and really use your focus powerfully to expand the magic. And finally, where can you invite in more ease this season? Where can you invite in more ease and release obligations and pressures and stress and strain? Ew, gross. That feels so gross. And where can you give yourself room and grace to just be where you're at? Tell the truth, decommit, renegotiate the things that don't feel good. This is your friggin' life. I don't know why we release so much of our power during December to make everyone else happy. That is a recipe for disaster. You want a recipe for disaster? Try to make everyone happy this month, my friends. I feel like, what if we this month actually had the conversations, spoke the truth, honored where we're at, said yes to the yeses and no thank you to the nos with so much grace, and really just give ourselves the gift of alignment and ease and peace. And while there may be compromises, yes, we want to create win-wins. But what I'm going to suggest is that we no longer disregard ourselves. We can no longer disregard ourselves and expect to feel good. And that was the one thing that came through for me through the grief holiday seasons was I stopped doing things to make everyone else happy. And I literally just started focusing on, what do I need this season? What feels good for me? And how do I honor that? How do I make my joy, my feelings a priority, and then show up from a place of alignment and overflow instead of obligation and force and pressure. I just don't think there's ever a really good reason to lie to ourselves or to those we love by doing things that are clearly a no. It just never goes well. You know, when you say yes to a thing because you feel forced and then you show up and then you get into a fight or drama breaks out or things go sideways and it's like, oh, that went so bad. And I'm like, yeah, it went bad because you literally disregarded all the messages saying that that was a fuck no. So where can we honor the F no's? Where can we honor the heck yeses this season? Where can we give ourselves more grace? Where can we take even more space to make it magical for us, actually? I know we've got kids, we've got aging parents, we've got, family members who are sick or grieving, or there's so many things to worry about. And I'm not saying we disregard others. I'm just saying that it is more aligned to care for others once we've actually tended to ourselves. That to me is the most loving thing we can do, is to show up and support and give from alignment instead of sacrifice. Let me know if that resonates for you. This is the month I feel to stop pretending you're fine. If you're not fine, you get to be not okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to speak the truth. It's okay to take that space. Permission to say no, permission to rest, permission to honor self. This is the month to stop pushing past what empties us. Whoa, I just felt full shivers. It's the month to stop this. I feel like sometimes it's the month where we say, to hell with it. I'll just do the thing. I'll just do it because it's easier to just do what everyone wants than create a big drama. But what if it's the year to honor your heart and your spirit and make yourself the priority and honor your energy? Imagine what January gets to look like and a new year gets to look like if you honor yourself through the month of December instead of going and saying yes to everything. And if you've already said yes to everything, I mean, we're still early in, you have the opportunity to renegotiate now. Get on the phone, take the inspired action, and get things into alignment. Okay. This is the month to ask, where can I soften my expectations of myself? Everything that you've got on your list to do this month, what if you cut it in half? Ooh, I know that's going to just ruffle some feathers. I can feel it as you're listening. But do you feel the truth in that? Like, this is one of those loving bitch slaps, which is like, what if you took all your to-dos and you cut them in half and you show up to them as get to-dos, as things that you get to do, as things you're blessed to do? What if your list looked like that this month? What can you renegotiate to make that happen? Which yeses are actually nos in disguises? Again, I feel like rude, but you're welcome. You're welcome. Maybe you've already made agreements that weren't true to you. What does it look like to say yes in alignment this season? And what limiting beliefs are you ready to release that you have to do it? You have to. You don't have to do just about anything. You get to. And it is a choice. As grown ass men and women, we actually aren't forced to do anything. So, what does it look like to be in your power this Christmas season, this holiday season, and show up from a place of fullness? Show up from a place of overflow. I've been talking about it all year. I'm not about to let it go during December, the last month of the year, where we're in completion energy and where that energy is literally what we're going to carry into a brand new year. No, I'm not sacrificing, friends. I am honoring myself. And the thing is, most of us recovering people pleasers are worried about how that's going to upset someone else. How does it upset you to disregard yourself is the question I want to ask. And what does it look like to set up your relationships to be honest this year, to show up in full transparency and authenticity and tell the truth and say, I love you, Auntie Barb. And honestly, I'm fucking tired and I can't make it to your Boxing Day brunch. And I really, really want to. And I know I'm going to have FOMO and I know it's going to be so much fun. And I might even feel a little bit badly about not bringing my special holiday hot cross buns. But the world's going to go on and my energy is more important than making everyone else happy because our life force is required in order to live out our missions and make an impact and leave a legacy and connect in truth with our families and the people we love and our clients and our communities. In order to do what we're here to do, we need our energy. So, what if you honored it this month? Where can you make your joy a priority this month? Boom. And what is one small inspired action that creates that positive momentum toward your intention, toward that experience you are seeking? I want you to hit me up. Instagram message me, DM me, email me, let me know. What is that inspired action? What are you looking forward to? What are you willing to shift this month in order to make your joy a priority is what I want to know. And just a little note on boundaries. Boundaries are actually how we make our joy a priority. And the truth is we create boundaries for ourselves. It feels like it's to keep others out, but the boundaries we create are actually for ourselves and to then uphold them and to share them lovingly. I just want to put that in there because I know it can make a lot of us nervous because we're worried about upsetting everyone. So, what does it look like to honor your joy this year? What does it look like to make this holiday season, this Christmas, special for you? For me, when everyone passed away, I took Christmas back. I really made it more joyful by making it my own. I released the need for big fancy trees and decorations. And I focused on actually more of the winter magic. I would bring in fresh greens into the mantle, light lots of candles, lots of sparkly lights, a little bit of those glimmers everywhere, but really releasing the need to do anything that didn't feel 100%. I kept it small. I kept it quiet. One year it was just David and I. I'm not super into turkey dinners. We're doing one this year, but I'm so excited to have my mom and my brother and David's mom and my aunt over for Christmas dinner. And I'm doing a turkey and I'm calling in the best Christmas. I'm actually really excited. I haven't done one like this since my grandparents were still here. I'm excited to bring them in and nurture me and others this Christmas. But if that was a no, I would not be doing it. Maybe you do want to make it special with a particular kind of meal or honor your loved ones with a particular kind of meal. You get to make it your own. That's what I would invite in is make it your own. Invite in the little bits of magic, the things that matter to you, presence, like actual presence, being present with yourself, with others, with those that you love, and honoring those who are still with us and the blessings that are still around us. I recognized early on in my grief journey that the magic was in the moments that I stopped resisting and started choosing. So I know that this month can be tricky. It's like one big, huge Hallmark channel, and real life doesn't always follow this script. Sometimes the season is nostalgic and warm and joyful, and sometimes it's tender and lonely, and sometimes it's all of it all at once. And so, wherever you are, I'm sending extra love your way. The last thing I'd like to pass on today is that you don't need to push grief away to make room for joy. And you don't need to push joy away to make room for grief. You can make space around all of it with gratitude, actually. And gratitude is what really became the bridge for me. It's like the thank you for the memories, and thank you for the love, and thank you for the people still here, the tiny magical moments, and for the comfort of the present and the limitless possibilities, and for the healing bit by bit, and for the time, for the time. Because if nothing is permanent, then every glimmer of presence is truly the gold. And joy for me through the grief became the companion, not a replacement. It's not like, oh, I've got to be joyful now. It's no, I don't need to force myself into anything. I invited gratitude in so that joy could sit beside grief without either one trying to dominate. And so this leads me back to what we're doing this month in the Joy Nest, because grief and joy don't have to cancel each other out. They get to coexist. But gratitude lets joy lead gently through it all. So enter the Capture Joy Holiday Magic photo challenge that we're doing together in the Joy Nest this month. This challenge isn't about perfection or a curated feed. It's literally about seeing the magic with your own eyes and really using that focus to help us to feel better on days when our heart feels maybe tender. Both are welcome at the table. Grief and joy are both real. They both get to be witnessed. So each day inside the joy nest, we're going to share one photo of what felt like a little joy glimmer, something that felt like winter sparkle or winter magic, a little gratitude wink, something that made your soul sigh, something that invited in the magic. Because capturing those small moments is the way that we can say, I see you and I see joy still, even here, even in this. And this is what gets to help to heal. So if you feel a little internal, oh, what's this? Again, I'll link it in the show notes. I would love to hold you in this container. It is beyond what I imagined when I began it in the fall. And it's 50% off right now for the month of December. You get 50% off for the entire year and a free copy of the Daily Joy Journal to help you to bring joy in every single day. And the last thing I'll just leave you with is wherever you are on your journey is okay. And I just really want to celebrate you for being where you're at. I want to pre-celebrate you for honoring yourself and making your feelings a priority this holiday season and really giving yourself room and grace to be where you are and to make room for both the grief and the joy. And I'm sending you so much love. Talk soon. See you next week where we bring on Jen Wolowich and I literally share so vulnerably about my money story. So we're going to dive into that next week. It's a vulnerable month over here on the Joy Journey podcast. And ultimately, I just want you to know that you're not alone and that this is a wild ride, this human experience, and we don't need to do this on our own. So you're always welcome here. You always have a seat at my table. Thank you for listening and thank you for lighting up the world with me. To our joy.